I'm gonna DoorDash in the capitals of 3 different states in one day to make $150. And if I don't make the $150, I have to go back in the box for an hour in freezing cold water, literally risking hypothermia. And because I can only accept orders for an hour and a half in each capital, I don't have any time to waste. I left at 1:31 a.m. and I had a 5.5-hour drive to the capital of West Virginia, Charleston.
Getting directions to South Charleston.
I left super late at night where I could get there at 7 a.m. Earlier during the day, I decided to take a couple naps where I could make this drive, because I'll be working for at least 30 hours. And if I want to reach my goal, there will be virtually no time to sleep. It was really weird driving all through the night, especially around 3 a.m. because that was the time there was absolutely no cars on the road but me. And surprisingly, I didn't get tired at all. And as far as I was concerned, this was just like a really long drive to work. West Virginia was really weird because about 10 minutes before I was at the Capitol, I was just driving around the mountains. But eventually we finally made it to the city. And the plan was to start dashing at 7:30 a.m. and take orders all the way till 9 a.m.
Perfect, we made it just in time. It's very busy right now.
I also want to point out that you guys gave me a lot of advice on my last video. But to keep things simple and fair, I'm just not going to take it. Oh shoot! I'll accept that, yeah.
Welcome to Burger King. May I take your order?
Hi, I have a DoorDash order for Emily. Emily, it's gonna be tough not to eat your order.
No joke, guys. I hadn't eaten anything in 12 hours. And I definitely didn't have time to stop for food.
I have a good one.
You too.
Hi. Thank you.
Here you go. All right, have a good one. Boom! First order complete.
So I started driving around to get more orders, and it turns out, against all expectations, West Virginia is an amazing place to DoorDash.
This is $15. Oh my god.
Up until this point, the highest I'd ever got paid for an order back in South Carolina was $12. I was killing it here. The orders were a little farther apart, and neighborhoods like this one completely ruined my MPG, but it didn't matter, because as soon as I got done with this order, I got one for $16.
What? What? Does this happen regularly? $16? Yeah. Oops, sorry.
You're okay.
All right, thank you.
You too. Sorry.
Dude, I do that all the time.
At this point, we were out of time and I couldn't take any more orders. But it didn't matter because I've never made this amount of money in this short a period of time.
Guys, I made 40 freaking bucks. That's crazy.
We ended up dashing for about 1 hour 45 minutes, which means we made more than $23 an hour.
Hey Siri,
Uh-huh.
give me directions to Frankfort, Kentucky.
Getting directions to Kentucky State Capitol.
Now it was time to drive 2.5 hours all the way to the capital of Kentucky, Frankfort. I also had to be there before the lunch rush ended, but having been awake for more than 24 hours at this point started to take a toll on my body. You can literally see how hard it is for me to hold my eyes open right here. It was also very difficult to stay driving straight. So in order to avoid certain death, I had to stop and take a 30-minute nap. It's also been about 24 hours since I last ate or drank, so I decided to get a quick bite at McDonald's. But then the craziest thing happened.
She did not just cut me off in the McDonald's line.
It's fine though, I eventually got my biscuits.
Thank you.
Now that I ate and slept, I felt like a new person and finally made it to Kentucky, where there was nothing for miles. I also had some pretty solid jam sessions. And finally, after another 3-hour car drive, we were almost there.
We're about to make so much money! For the Capitol, this is a very small area. Wow.
I was very surprised to see how small the DoorDash territory was when I got there. Until I saw that, my goal of $150 seemed easy. But now a small part of me was starting to worry. I couldn't imagine being in that box again for another hour, but this time soaking wet and cold. So I put my head down and got as many orders as possible.
I have a DoorDash order.
I love your GoPro.
Oh, thanks. He said he loved my GoPro. I don't know if he's being sarcastic or serious.
DoorDashing was going smoothly, but I hadn't used the bathroom in 6 hours. And in this town in Kentucky, there were no public bathrooms, so I had no choice.
I don't know what the heck this is, but I'm gonna make it quick. This is what my life's come to, guys. Hey, do you know if you have any hand sanitizer?
You have a good day.
You too, thanks.
Yes, before I finished the order, I made sure to wash my hands.
Have a nice day.
With 45 minutes left, I got some gas because the orders stopped coming in for a while. So whenever I got an opportunity, I made sure to take it.
$9 for 16 miles. Oh well.
16 miles was a long way for $9, but the rush was dying down and my options were becoming limited.
Hey, I have a DoorDash order for Michelle. Thanks so much.
You have a great day.
You too.
This is where I realized that I might have made a mistake. I was way out of boundaries, which means I couldn't get any orders until I got back in. But it was a long drive, and by the time I got to the hot spot, it was too late. My dash had ended. And I only made $20.
Kind of starting to feel a little bit nervous about, you know, the punishment. Like, I was feeling really confident after West Virginia. Like, I didn't even care. I thought, you know what, the rest of the capitals are going to be even better.
I thought Kentucky was going to be great because every time I hear Kentucky, I think, oh, Kentucky Fried Chicken. But no, there's no orders, no DoorDashers, and no public bathrooms. But now that's all behind me. Luckily, the next city is very big and famous. It's the capital of Tennessee, Nashville. And I'm 100% certain there's going to be a bunch of hungry people there. It's about a 4-hour drive and it's in a different time zone, so I'm going to get there in plenty of time to meet dinner rush.
Now that is a city, guys. This is huge, guys.
And I was right. Look how busy Nashville is. But I definitely wasn't going to dash downtown because if I did that, then I'd have nowhere to park. So I aimed for the very big section up top. And it wasn't long before I got my first order for $9.
First order, $9. Not bad. Let's go.
But there are literally crazy drivers everywhere, and I've seen 2 wrecks. Don't worry, they were just fender benders, but still. Hey, I have a DoorDash order for Van.
Here you go.
Cool, thanks so much. That smells so good. That was an easy freaking $9. So far, Nashville was amazing and exactly what I expected. Hey, I have a DoorDash for Ryan.
DoorDash for Ryan. Okay, give me just a second.
But this is where things started to go downhill. I had to wait for this order for nearly 15 minutes. And for the 1.5 hours I was in Tennessee, I had to make at least $86 in total.
Ryan,
Awesome.
thank you.
I was really frustrated. I only have 45 minutes to make $77.
I have 45 minutes left. I thought Nashville was going to be like my saving grace, but no. No, it's not.
I couldn't imagine possibly getting hypothermia in the box, so I grabbed whatever I could get my hands on.
Thanks, you too.
I seriously did everything I could. I was literally running around in people's driveways up to their front doors, trying to make sure I got these orders done on time. All the while not having slept in 36 hours and not having eaten a real meal in 30 hours. Things never got any better. I was walking through this apartment complex forever until the customer specifically told me where he was at.
That sucks. All that for like $10.
Well, at this point, we're kind of just sitting ducks. $22.50. It's not a lot at all. See, I don't know if it's just me or if it's the places I'm going, but I thought for sure, I seriously thought for sure Nashville I was gonna make like $100. I was out of luck and almost out of time. I still kept getting orders, but every order I got was bad. And at this point, I'd almost accepted my horrible fate waiting back at home. Literally, $5.25, 7.6 miles. Like, that's just ridiculous. Well, guys, we are out of time, and unfortunately, we only made that much. So I guess before we leave, I'm going to sum up the total and see where we are. We reached our goal of $150 or not. I don't think we did. And I was right. If you add up all the revenue from all 3 states, we only made $83.27. Or in other words, $66.73 short. So after my 5.5 hour drive back home, I was to get back in the box for an hour, soaking in very cold 60-degree water, literally risking hypothermia. But then I realized an even bigger problem. I hadn't had real sleep in over 32 hours, and I was starting to nod off driving back, so I had to find a place to sleep. I didn't care where. I took the very first exit I could find because it was dangerous. And I wound up at some sketchy hotel in the middle of nowhere. I really wanted to get home, so I only spent about 30 minutes here. And I was so tired when the alarm woke me up, this is what I said.
Was?
Feeling somewhat rested and confused, I went back on the road, only to realize a couple minutes later that I was still very tired and had absolutely no business driving.
Oh, here we go again.
This time I napped for a whole 2 hours in the parking lot. And when I woke up, my ETA was about 6 a.m. But it still wasn't enough. When I went on the road, I drove for about an hour. And after that, I started getting very tired again, so I pulled off and decided to rest for 30 minutes. But I ended up staying for a whole hour. And just as the sun came up, I made it back to my house in South Carolina. I was exhausted. It's seriously 7:09 a.m. I have been in this car driving 30 hours straight. But later that night, I had no choice but to do my hour in the box, and the water was 60 degrees. I might risk hypothermia. The full video is going to be on my vlog channel, links in description. This challenge was no joke, so I had someone out there with me in case I went unconscious or anything bad happened. An hour in 60-degree weather and water can damage you.
Oh my god, wow. That is cold. That is way colder than I thought it was going to be.
It only took 10 minutes of the water pouring on my head to give me a headache. Having my hand on my head helped a lot, shielding it from the water. But at the same time, the back of my hand was freezing cold.
The biggest challenge right now is keeping my head warm, because my head is going to lose heat the fastest. I got to find a way to warm up. I can't continue like that.
If it wasn't for these minutes of push-ups, there's no doubt in my mind that something very bad could have happened.
I'm entering this first stage of hypothermia, uncontrollable shivering.
You cannot get hurt.
Always fun.
There's no...
Everything you see, real, no clickbait. All I want is to grow this channel into something amazing and positive. Yes.
You're done, dude. You're done. You're done, yo. I got it.
Oh, listen, I can hurt now.